Welcome everyone to Praggnanandhaa taking on Nodirbek Abdusattorov in his first Blitz game in this tiebreaks of the US Chess Cup. Pragg has the white pieces and he will be trying his best against Nodirbek. He has just finished a close to 5-hour classical game and must be exhausted, but there he is sitting there. In the distance is this beautiful trophy that he is looking at, and the trophy is kind of has all these drinks next to it just for I think colorful effect. They are kept there, and the opponent of Pragg in this game is none other than Nodirbek Abdusattorov. So they meet again after Pragg beat him in the classical encounter. It's now time for Blitz, and Pragg has the white pieces. We are ready here to rock and roll. Nodirbek adjusts all his pieces pretty quickly there. And let's go. The arbiter signals them to shake hands. D4 by Pragg. Knight comes out to f6, knight to f3, d5 and e3 played by Pragg, trying to play something slightly offbeat, limiting his own bishop. Bishop comes to f5 on a very good diagonal so that later you can play e6, open up your other bishop, and this light squared bishop is outside the pawn chain. Bishop d3, offering the bishops for trade. He plays his pawn to e6, accepting the doubled pawns. It's a very interesting decision by Nodirbek. It helps him control the e4 square further. Now c4 played. You can win a pawn here with dc4, but I'll give you a check and pick up this pawn. He plays pawn to c6, and now the queen goes to b3, attacking the b7 pawn. Nodirbek brings his queen out to b6, and the queen trade looks likely, unless Pragg wants to go back and say that, hey, your queen on b6 is a little weird, I'm also attacking your f5 pawn. Pragg goes knight to c3, and he's putting a lot of pressure in the center with the queen, knight and pawn. The queen takes b3, a takes b3 taken here, and now this bishop can come out. Maybe bishop d6 is possible. He goes knight d7, bishop comes out to d2, a6 just to negate the effect of this rook. Bishop comes out to d6. An important position now. Praggnanandhaa takes the pawn on d5, and very important for Nodirbek to take back with the knight, but he makes an error. He takes back with the pawn because he wanted to maybe keep the knight to go to e4, but now Pragg can jump in, knight to b5, and look at that. Nodirbek looked at Pragg a little bit anxiously there. Now if bishop b8 trying to move away, I go bishop b4, I take full control of the dark squares. Not an easy position here. You can't take, of course, your rook is hanging. So beautiful move here. If you go king e7, I just take and give you a check with my bishop. He comes knight e4. And now this very interesting move, bishop b4, not to be missed. Here, check, and then instead of picking this up, I go knight d5 and pick this bishop up. So that's a very nice idea, but Pragg goes knight to g5. Oh, what a move. If you take here, I take on d6 and then take here or take on f5. So knight g5, a very creative move by Pragg to dislodge the knight on e4, which is defending the bishop. And somehow both the white knights moved to b5 and g5, putting Nodirbek under grave pressure. Nodirbek has to think his way through here. He shouldn't rush. He shouldn't rush here because he might get into trouble. King e7, the best move found here. If you play knight d6, I'll take back with the knight. He takes, knight takes, and plays his bishop to b4, threatening take on d6, king d6, knight takes f7. He goes rook f8, but that was not the best move. The best idea was to stay active with rook hc8. And now you can go and just pick the c file. If Pragg can bring his rook to c1, that would be epic. Another beautiful move is rook a5, putting pressure on the d5 pawn. Pragg is thinking hard here, finds it. Knight to f6, rook c1, beautiful chess. King d7, trying to stop the rook from coming to c7 here. And maybe rook a c5 is the best move. Yes, finds it. Now trying to enter here on c7. A huge threat, but you have knight b5. Nodirbek somehow clinging on here. But the problem, of course, is that once you put your knight on b5, I can simply move the rook away, attacking your rook. Yes, knight b5 played. I can come back, attack your rook. If your rook moves, I pick up a pawn. And that's a valuable pawn to win there. Pragg taking his time calmly here. That's the right thing to do, because his position is dominating. Rook c2, beautiful move there. Rook e8 played, and now king d3. Very important not to fall for this trick of knight d4 with a pin here. Beautiful. Praggnanandhaa goes king d3, and now there is no way to defend f7. So Nodirbek tried for a small trick. Praggnanandhaa did not fall for it, and now Nodirbek's rook on e8 isn't doing much. Has to move away. Rook c8 is the best move here, but you don't want to be trading pieces when you are below material, down in material. Rook g8, knight takes f7 taken with the idea of knight e5 check, and you can see Nodirbek is unhappy here. He hasn't had the best of start in the Blitz. 2 draws with Sindarov, and now knight to e4, putting pressure here. Can't we just simply kick the knight away with f3? Yeah, maybe it's just a very good idea to play f3 here. Yes, plays it, pawn to f3. And now, yes, king e6 is forced. Attacking here, you don't want to be taking fe, because fe comes with a check. So knight e5, knight jumps back. Tricky. What if we take? Knight takes, I jump in with my rook. Maybe you take with the king. And Nodirbek Abdusattorov fully focused there. Praggnanandhaa has 47 seconds. He goes pawn to h4. This also a great idea. When you are ahead in material, you can't find a clear path. Just improve your position. Gain more space. You don't want to go g4 takes, e4 square is given up. So difficult moment for Pragg. Even though he's better, he's not able to find the moves to make progress. Sometimes that puts a lot of pressure on you to make progress. He's down to 26 seconds. h5 played. A dangerous move. If gh5, he wants to go rook h1. So g5 played. Pragg now goes g4. Amazing move. If you take, he wants to take back with the knight, keeping control of the e4 square with his pawn. Amazing. The knight is well placed, looking at these squares. And knight to f5 by Nodirbek. The knight is putting pressure on e3. Knight jumps back to e5. h6 played, just to keep these pawns together. Again, Pragg is stuck on how to make progress. You might want to play e4, but d4 is hanging. So he goes back with his knight, which is a great decision. Now putting pressure on h6. Rook c8. He goes back and he's able to trade one pair of rooks. He takes, rook takes, and now rook c2 played. Just quietly improving. Now defending h6, wanting to go to g3 to attack here. Bishop e1, knight g7, bishop comes to g3. And he puts his bishop right into the center of the board. What a beautiful maneuver here by Praggnanandhaa to get his bishop right into the heart of the position. Rook h7 played, and now another great move. Knight g7, and this pawn is under pressure. He goes knight f6, again finds the best move, and knight h5, pinning the knight. It's all over. Praggnanandhaa has played an incredible game of Blitz. With just a few seconds, bishop takes h8. Knight g3, he takes, king f5, rook f6 is a checkmate. Nodirbek resigns here. What a game by Praggnanandhaa. Close to flawless chess shown by him, and incredible one by Pragg. To just, whenever there was nothing happening, he quietly managed to improve his position, and with this, he scores a key win in this first Blitz game.
I think first game against Nodirbek was like super clean. Like I think I really played well, and